Steve, first call up for Kieron Bowie. Just how impressed have you been with him this season? What do you think he can bring to this group?
Yeah, he's had a good season. Obviously, injury affected at certain times, but Kieron's one that I've always had my eye on from the under-21s. Anytime I watched the under-21s, he always stood out. Big physical, strong, good attributes to his game. And going into the summer, you've got people like Lawrence Shankland, Kevin Nisbet, who I know what they can bring to the squad, what they can give to me. So it was just to have a look at something a little bit different and see if we can expand the pool of players. I keep talking about trying to get a bigger overall pool of players that we can select from, and these games are probably a chance to have a look at one or two.
Goalkeeper Angus Gunn back in for the first time since September. How much of a boost is that, especially with all the injuries in that position as well?
Well, it's obviously a great boost because we've lost Craig and Liam Kelly through injury, which is disappointing. And then Angus just got back into the Norwich team after injury at the end of the season there, so that's a bonus. And then after that, to be honest, we're looking a little bit light in the goalkeeping department. You know, Robbie McCrory's had an in and out season at Kilmarnock. I saw him at the weekend. He did okay, but he's had a season in and out. There's quite a lot of the boys like that. Kieran Slicker's not playing regular football, so it's an area of the pitch that does concern me. I think when you look at the future of the Scottish national team, we do need to find one or two goalkeepers. So it's something we have to look at.
Scott McTominay and Billy Gilmour, of course, in the squads. They could be Serie A champions by the time the camp comes around. Just how impressive you with their seasons and how they've taken to the challenge.
I don't want to jinx somebody. We're talking about what might happen next weekend, so we'll leave that one. But I think it's really strange because suddenly people in Scotland have taken a big interest in Serie A, and you've got Scott and Billy fighting for the Scudetto, and Lewis has already got a bit of silverware and a nice medal around his neck, so it's been a good year for them. And like you say, hopefully the boys can finish it off next weekend and come into the camp in a really good mood.
And Josh Doig in Serie A as well has been incredible.
Josh has had a good season as well. Obviously promotion back to Serie A, which is where he wants to be and where he wants to play. Josh has been in my squads before. Understands his position behind Andy and Kieran, but it'd be nice to see him again. It's been a while since he's been in one of the squads.
Have you found an opportunity to get out up there at all to watch one of the games out there?
No, the budget doesn't stretch that far. Unfortunately, you can watch everything on the telly or the laptop these days.
It is generally a pretty youthful squad when you look through it, and you talk about that pool, but obviously that kind of younger element as well must be something on your mind too, clearly.
Always here. I'm just the custodian of this job at this moment in time. In the future, somebody else will need to come in and pick a squad of players. So the deeper we can make that squad and the more experience we can give the younger boys in and being involved in and around the squad, not necessarily just minutes on the pitch, just being around these boys that you're talking about that have won big trophies, major trophies. It's good for them to come in and feel the level of the group and see the level of the group, see the standard that they have to reach in their football career. And like I said, looking to build a bigger squad. As the squad gets older, there's natural that people will drop out, and we need replacements for them. So that's what we're looking for.
And it's a squad playing all over Europe as well, which has obviously changed quite a bit over the last few years. Have you noticed a difference in training and that when you've got players playing all over with different experience in European football, what that does for the group?
I think just the experience of going out in different culture. It's not just so much about the different football, the different styles and playing for different clubs. It's just the lifestyle experience. I think it's great that they're doing it, and it can only make them better players and better people.
Steve, is it particularly pleasing for Lewis, given the injury he had last season, how that impacts on him, and then he wins the Cup Italia with Bologna?
Obviously, really disappointing for Lewis last season to pick up such a serious injury. I was watching the final the other night, and he tried his best to get another serious injury. He was quite lucky. It was just his nose that got it. So I did have a little hope when I saw that moment. But he's a warrior. Just a couple of plugs up his nose and get on with it, and then pick up the trophy at the end. So he's gone to Italy. His game's improved a lot. I think the game we played away to Greece, I thought Lewis was excellent in the midfield for us, and he's going to be a big part of the Scotland team moving forward.
How much do you hope, I mean you always hope that players give you food for thought with selection. I'm just wondering over these next 2 games, how much you hope the players give you food for thought come the qualifiers in September onwards?
You're always hoping for players to give you food for thought. You're looking for somebody to catch your eye and where you're thinking, okay, he might be moving above this one in the pecking order or whatever. That's what you're always looking for. You want competition between them. It's why sometimes you bring in some of the younger boys and the older boys are suddenly looking over their shoulder and thinking, aye, he's thinking of something different. That keeps them on their toes as well. And that's what we want. We want competition for places. We want as many good players as we can fighting for all the positions. I always want to have a difficult selection, and hopefully the lads can do that over the summer games, and then obviously at the end of the year some big games coming up in the World Cup qualifying.
Steve, the international landscape now is less and less friendlies, but you've got the opportunity here to. Well, does this give you the opportunity to almost try things? Well, because most of the games you play now are important matches. I
think we're pretty set in our ways, or I'm pretty set in my ways, as you keep telling me, everybody keeps telling me. I'm pretty set in my ways. But what we have done, obviously started when you go back 6 years, seems a little bit longer than that, but it's only 6 years I've been in the job. Start with back four, realise that you've got to transition to a back five. Tried my best to make Scott McTominay a centre half, but eventually decided he was quite good at attacking midfield as well. And then from on the back of that, going back to a back four in the Nations League games, the last campaign, worked well for us. So hopefully now we've got 2 systems we can use, and maybe across the 2 games I'll use both systems just to have a look and see and decide how we're going to approach the World Cup games in the autumn. But also we want to try and improve our record in friendlies because it's not very good.
A promising season for Simon Murray. Was he close to a call-up this time around?
Yeah, Simon's had a great season, but I just felt this was an opportunity to look at younger players rather than Simon, who's been around a long time. Fantastic season at Dundee, and yeah, you're always close. I'm always looking. I've always shown, I think, that I'm prepared to bring in players. If you look through my time in charge, I've never been shy of bringing in, for example, an Andy Considine coming towards the end of his career. So if the moment was there and the timing was right and the situation was right, then someone like Simon could have made the squad. But this time is a chance to look at younger players.